Right, welcome back to the Natural Physique podcast, everyone. All the boys here are going to be chatting through a little bit about first time competitors, what to expect on your show days and the day before show days. I got a good amount of questions, to be fair, asking about it and how things run as a whole. We've obviously done what to expect as a first time competitor through the actual prep itself and all these different things, mindset and stuff like that. But a little bit about the actual show day, the ins and outs and stuff that you're not really going to expect. That's worth knowing. I got plenty of questions asking about getting a hard on stage and if your balls ever came out on stage as well. So that's good. We'll go through that. But yeah, how is everyone? How we doing? We catch up?
I didn't put a question box up because I thought you three will get enough, but also it's like we're covering like a topic anyway, so we don't want to have like 20 questions to go through. So that's why I didn't put one up. But yeah, all is good with me. Train push today. Good session. Filmed it for the YouTube. You seen my fucking YouTube thumbnails, by the way?
Chat GPT cooking up a storm.
It's because I've spent money on it. I'm paying like whatever it is, like 20 quid a month or something for Chat GPT Plus.
Yeah. I
But
might
it's
just start
well
using that.
worth It is worth it to be fair, but you've got to give it the right commands. Like I literally have to put like, please make a exciting thumbnail, not just make a YouTube thumbnail. Make a cool YouTube thumbnail targeted towards natural bodybuilders with this title and these colors, and then it does it. It's sick.
You should like stand out and shit. You need to be like extra specific. Things that you'd
Yeah.
think would be like really obvious just aren't. Yeah. Yeah, it's brutal. Everyone else, Matt, Noah, how we doing? Matt, Chrysler hat on, not a Jaguar hat.
Yeah, different type of car. I'm cruise control today, not going super fast. I'm fucking exhausted, mate. I just had a really good leg session, and it's just like you come home. It's the timing that I come home as well because it's starting to get dark, so it feels like I should be going to bed, and
Mm.
I'm just like, yeah, ready to go to bed. But a good leg session today. 5 plates on the prime hack squat for six, and that's paused as well. So happy with how that went. Yeah, life's just been pretty good last couple of days or since last week. Haven't really done much. I've had two food increases, but we've kind of just been like, rather than just throwing like 25 carbon and then waiting a couple of weeks and seeing what happens, it's just been like, okay, we'll add like 10 carbon and then nothing happened. Add another 10, nothing happened. So my body's responding very well to that. Don't seem to be getting any kind of like water retention, which I seem to get before if you put like a good amount of food in. So yeah, and the looks just getting better and better. I seem to be getting leaner as well. Was pretty happy with how I looked the other day. And yeah, thought I lost my classic trunks or Finn's classic trunks. Turns out they were in the boot of my car. So I was kind of like panicking and stressing because they're like my lucky trunks. So thank goodness I found them.
The trunks that beat Toyton, mate.
All right, mate,
Yeah.
they're famous trunks. Like,
Finn's an
got them in a
icon,
They give
bro.
you
museum.
superpowers. I don't know what happened in them.
I know, mate.
Yeah.
They're good. Like Iron Eagle. Shout out Iron Eagle, not Iron Monkey.
Get beef with Iron Monkey. Eh?
I think everyone's got beef
I'm
with Iron
sure they were
Monkey.
raging that you put that in your story. See that
Iron
fucking
Monkey.
that butcher.
Yeah, mate.
That
The
indirect shot at us, man.
Why?
yeah.
What did you put?
People were just asking me where I got my trunks from, so I put a stage shot of me wearing the trunks, and I said got them from Iron Eagle, really good quality, good customer service, unlike other brands, and then did a monkey emoji.
I
So
never even tried to order with them, but I remember Finn said like it'd been like a month and they still hadn't came, so I wasn't
Mate, months, like literally months. I remember like in my first prep, I bought mine like honestly 3 or 4 months, and it still did. I must have been like 3 or 4 weeks before my show they came. I was like doing check-ins in AJ's, like stressing out. When I
hey,
went to Rotherham, like wearing his,
that would have been a fucking great experience.
I
Did
was
you
great.
cherish those moments?
I did, yeah. I've never washed since.
You best have. You best have.
I don't think I've washed my trunks since Denmark.
I've not washed my trunks since I competed. I don't
You
wear mine to
don't?
be fair that much, but they dangle on the trophies. So they've just been getting aired there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I walk past them, I think back on. Keeps them fresh, you know. I seen that front lap mat, that was pretty mad. The one that you put on post workout.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
pretty cartoonish.
bonkers, mate. I don't even know what's going on. It's just a good pose for me. It's just I
Yeah.
can't like people ask me how I do it, how I look like that. It's
This
just
is one of the
genuine.
ones you get along well with, yeah. Like I struggle to really get everything up without like losing shit, whereas you just it looks as if you
It's because of my arm
elongate
length.
your waist. Like when I think about like overly exerting and doing this, that's just what you do, but it looks good, it looks natural, like it's one of those
Yeah,
ones that
it's
works.
just because my because I've got longer arms as well. If I put my hand at my side, my elbows naturally pushing wider than other people
Yeah.
because they've got shorter arms, so they're like this. So my limb length just I was literally born to hit front lat spreads. Like that's all I'm good for in life. So I might as well milk it.
Yeah, yeah. Just post that
Mm,
and that's it. Okay.
yeah.
Noah, yourself, how's things?
I had my fucking public humiliation this morning, which was absolutely lovely, man.
Yeah, brilliant.
Just that, boys.
That's
But
the
it's,
new your shot now.
yeah, me hitting wellness
Instead
poses, yeah.
of Noah being a fruity, zesty done.
Yeah. It's a inside joke that's somehow in front of thousands of folk now, and it's just no sitting well. Um, yeah, so that's out there for everyone to enjoy. Me hitting a wellness shot. But aside from that, it's been pretty chill. Um, yeah,
Birthday?
Yeah, birthday, 23 now. Now in my last year at junior, so I'll be in Unk territory with Finn and Matt next year, which will be nice and fun.
Mhm.
But aside from that, that's
You've
about it.
exceeded the juniors, mate.
Ah, yes, because
I
juniors
can't
are
do
17
BMBF.
already.
No.
Can't
And
do BMBF, can't do the
FWJ.
FWJ.
The only one you
Oh,
can do
that
is
fucking
UK
sugar
FBA.
shite.
Yeah.
Huh?
You can only do UK FBA technically, and
PCA,
oh, and PCA,
Yeah.
two feds.
two
What's
bro.
what's the WNBF situation?
That's 23, but they don't do junior men's physique.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize men's physique, yeah.
It's under 23, is it not?
Is it?
No, WMBF and PCA and UK FBA are all now 23 and under.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Because
it's
when
just
I was
BNBF.
competing, it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sure it
I was like,
changed.
I'm not going into the men's of
Yeah.
so
It's only BMBF now out of those that's under 23.
Yeah, and they
Makes
don't even do
sense
men's
that
physique.
the FWJ, what is it? Teens is 15 to 17.
I'm gonna
Not
fucking
like 18 and 19 have the word teen at the end, but like,
Fucking stupid, man. Yeah, so teens is 15 to 17, juniors is 17 to 20, and then it's just open, and then it's in height classes. And it turns out they're no longer even doing natural shows this year now that they lost their pro license. So I'd be in the tallest height class against folk on gear in men's open.
Yeah, we're
I
not
don't
doing
think I'm going to be doing that show. I don't think I'm going to be doing it.
imagine you just go and smack them.
Yeah.
The
Nah,
coolest shit ever.
yeah, there is another natural NPC show that does juniors in Japan that be either in Osaka or in Tokyo. That would be like 2 weeks after the one that I was planning on, Finn. So who knows? I either finish my season there or I do the other one and finish. I don't really know. I'm not worried though.
By that point, you'll have already done a good few shows and had a good season. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're feeling great and you want to go for it, cool, but you don't need to decide until close to the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick. I've not got much to update, to be honest. I've just been doing my usual training, eating, body weight's going up. Looks pretty
Finally.
good. Post workout, like I was happy with today. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's about everything.
Cooking, man.
Yeah, it's exciting. Like I'm actually starting to see everything start to fill out a little bit. Pressing was good today. Got my smelling salts. We were discussing this right before we started recording. We smelling salt number for Finlay Thornton. Shout out Finlay with his uppercut smelling salts. So we one that is made to be able to actually throw. It's not like a big tub. It's like a very lightweight one. So you like that, launch it away. I don't quite have Finley's aura with it yet. He fucking
Yeah, he loves throwing
he
it at me.
rags it. I don't quite have that confidence yet. And I also don't want to lose like my septum, so I'm going to use them. Yeah, so smelling salts. I'm going to use them like big sets, not for pretty much all of them, because I noticed myself. I was like, oh fuck, I might as well just use it. Then I was chat GPT cooking, being like, what's the drawbacks to smelling salts, and it was giving me all these different health things, and I was like, maybe shouldn't use them too
Who's
often.
your appetite?
Oh, that's gone already. Finn, I can't eat. I can't
The
eat. 'Cause
digestion's fucked, mate.
I had a sniffer of that smelling salt like 4 days ago, so I've not ate since. But yeah, so they're going very well. Got my grip jizz, my smelling salts, my seat belt, everything. Weirdest, most
Got
optimal
a
setup
helmet?
I've done. Not yet. It's coming
Shin
now.
pads.
Funnily enough, I did actually buy a gum shield, but I'm yet to put it in the kettle and fit it to my teeth because when I squat and shit, I grind my teeth together
Yeah,
really hard, and it feels horrible. Like this can't be doing me good. So
yeah.
like for like a squat or something where I need to like brace really hard and like I kind of forget what I'm actually doing with my face slash mouth, like I'll just pop a wee gum shield in, so I look like a fucking fanny. But
There's a kid in the gym doc
here,
who wears a gum shield on the Prime Preacher.
mega.
He's like,
It's a Jake.
well, is it Jake?
Fires. Yeah.
I'd be surprised.
Sorry, my lace is untied here. I don't want to trip over. Although it would be funny and a good moment for the podcast that I don't want to injure myself. But yeah, we're going to talk through, as I was saying, like in the first time competitors and what to expect on your show days, everything like that. I got a lot of questions about it. Like people seem to be quite interested and asking about different things. Will I go with some questions first and we can talk through them? Yeah?
Sure.
No? Yeah? No? It's good. Front
Yeah.
lap, it's not bad.
Right.
It was better
No,
than I thought it was
massive.
going to be.
Um,
That.
yeah, if you want to go straight into questions, that's fine. Or if you want to like talk about,
It's just I got questions about that. So like
yeah,
we
that's
can start
fine
to
then.
chat,
Let's
chat
let's
through
go
that.
through. Yeah, let's go through questions. That's cool.
Good one. Someone said run us through a simple day before your show, tan, travel, etc., etc. It depends if you are traveling far for the show. Like a lot of my shows were down in England, obviously staying up in Scotland. The person who's asked this, Andrew, I think he's doing the Scottish season mainly, so he won't need to worry about Airbnb and travel and stuff like that, because that definitely does make it a bit more expensive, and a little bit more of a ball ache as well, trying to move everything. If you can stay in your own gaff and then just drive to the show on the day off, then that's absolutely perfect. But tanning the day before, it depends what show you're actually doing. It depends if they have self-tan as well. I don't think any of the assisted federations do like a self-tan thing, do they?
No, but you can do your own tan still, like if you
Yeah.
want to. And I actually think as well, based on like sometimes the fucking wait time to like the amount of times that I'll have a client the night before a show at tanning till like 9 or 10 p.m. and they're used to going to bed at 8 p.m. You know what I mean? It's like if you can do your own tan confidently that like you're confident it's going to look
I think
good.
you need to have someone that's done it
Somebody,
before.
yeah, yeah, somebody to help you for sure, and somebody who is confident in doing it.
Yeah.
Like that's not a bad idea. It's definitely not because you can do it in the comfort of your own home. You can be warm, you can be comfortable. You're not worrying about fucking standing next to someone else with your cock out. Like it's don't get me wrong, like obviously like A1 tanning, like Nicola living nearby here for me is great. But if
Yeah.
she didn't, I'd probably just do my own tan. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's like it's easy enough to do it. Get pro tan or get dark as tan, whatever you want, whatever fed you're doing, and you can just apply it yourself. But I think maybe if you're a first timer and you don't have like friends or family that have done it before, probably just go with the tanners.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, just stick with that. Always bring an extra meal to tanning. Fuck me, it takes so long. Like, if your tan is at 5 p.m. and you're due to eat a meal at 7 or 8 or 6 or 7, Noah.
Oh
Noah,
God!
Noah. But yeah, I need to send you it later on. Did I send you it? The starter video. I went to send
Yeah,
you
I
the
saw it on
starter
your
video.
story.
Unbelievable. I say what? I said 68, 69. I just seen Noah at the corner of my eye like that. Fucking both of us erupted, wet ourselves. I'm a few minutes into the fucking video by this point. But yeah, like if your tan's at 5 p.m., you're supposed to eat again at 7 or 8 p.m., like bring a meal. Just bring a meal to get that in because a lot of the time there is going to be a larger queue. They're going to be behind. There's so many people to tan. Um,
Also, like often there's a massive queue. People are stood for hours and they've not been stood for hours for the whole week because they've been trying to stay off their feet and then they're stood for hours at tanning. Like, just chill out, sit down, find somewhere to sit and basically just like now and again go up and ask like how long until it's your go. Don't just stand in a queue because everyone else is stood for hours. It's the same with registration. You know, when you're registering for a show, people stand up and queue for like an hour. It's like, mate, just go at the end. Like, literally just sit down and go at the end. Like,
I literally used to, like, when I was in the queue, just sit down. If it was moving ridiculously slowly, just fucking scoot my arse
it's
along
like, you know,
or
when like
just stay sat down.
when you go on a flight and everyone stood up queuing for like an hour. And
Yeah,
like
I always
I
think it's
just go when
hard.
we're going through. Like the only reason I get that is if you want to make sure that you can put your bag like above, you know what I mean? But like otherwise, just fucking wait. Like what are you doing? Just go at the end. Like I
I've
just don't
never
get it.
ever like when the gate opens and they're like we're about to start taking people in, but then it's an extra 20 minutes just stood there waiting in the big ass line, like just
I'm
sit there.
literally always like last.
Yeah,
Like when me and my mum went to India, I was sat eating a meal, like I could see it. I was like 5 steps away from the gate, and the woman came over and she was like, "This flight?" To me and my mum, we're like, "Yeah, yeah." She was like, "You do know it's like boarding right now?" And we're like, "Yeah, but like, are they setting off yet?" And she was like, "Oh no, not for like 20 minutes." I was like, "Well, that's fine then. Like, I'll just finish my meal and then they'll walk there." She was
the
like, "Oh
only
yeah."
the only downside to that is you're the last person there. They've realized that they've not caught enough people out with how big the bag is, and then they're just like, yeah, you
I
measure that
haven't
bag
met
out.
the tariffs or whatever. They need to
Yeah.
scoop a couple of people.
They get commission
I get
from it
that.
as well. They get like an extra £2 for doing it too. So it's like, I mean, Reese saying that he was just going off his nut at somebody for doing it. Like, how she's working a
Any excuse
minimum
for
wage job and how she's
taking
fucking
this
hates her
off.
life and that. That's just crazy. That happened to Casey and I when we went to Poland. The guy was like, "Yeah, that doesn't fit. Pay now, pay now." And he was like trying to like just get me to pay quickly. And I tried to make it fit. It didn't fit. He was like, "Yep, doesn't fit. Pay now." I was like, "Mate, give me a chance to make it fit." And then I took some stuff out of it, put a hoodie on, and it fit. And he was like, oh, "Okay." And then done the exact same thing to Casey. I'm like, so weird. But yeah, you've got drawbacks to leaving it late and all things. But if you can, just like stay chilled out when you're there, stay off your feet, like especially if you're doing bodybuilding. If you're doing men's physique, it's not the end of the world. But if you're doing bodybuilding and your legs are fatigued to fuck and you've been trying to stay off your feet and you've got less steps, yet you're stood there for hours at tanning the night before, then I'd definitely try and avoid that. So tanning, that covers that. Everything else, well, anything else you want to mention about the day before?
I think if you're, I know you were saying like try and stay at your own like gaff if you can, but if you're like having to travel maybe over an hour and a half, even over an hour, because most shows you've got tanning and registration the night before, more often than not, I'd just stay over. Get somewhere that ideally is like an Airbnb, so you've got your own
I
kitchen.
was gonna
Don't
say
just get
don't
like
get
a
a
little
hotel or the
hotel
hotel
room.
that they recommend or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then you're stressing, going, oh well, I've not got a fridge, or I've not got this, or I've not got that. If you're gonna have a hotel room, then make sure you've prepped your meals and take a mini fridge. I did that in my
Definitely take
first
a wee
show.
cool box or
Yeah,
something. You
yeah,
don't want to
took
have
like
your food
I
go
literally
off and
took a
you're
mini
shitting
fridge.
yourself.
Yeah, so like I had it just in the boot of the car. All you need to do is plug it in. Take if you let's say need, for example, like you may be having rice pudding or cream of rice or oats or whatever. That's all you need is a kettle of water and then the product. So that sound, take away that sound. If you've already prepped chicken, rice, etc., like your veg or that whatever it is you've got, fruit, etc., you can just take that and just have like a cool box or a mini fridge. So like, if you have to have a hotel room, that's sound. But most Airbnbs are probably the same kind of price as a hotel room. Also, if you've got other people that are going to watch the show or other like mates that you know that are competing, try and share with them. But again, like only if you're somebody who's comfortable doing that. Because again, if you're somebody who's like so strict with your sleep routine and this and that, and then all of a sudden you go and stay with three different people you've never met the night before a show, and
Choose
guess what? You're
wisely.
stressing out like mad if
I'm
you sleep.
just thinking of that gaff for the WMAF. Even like having more people is not always the answer. Like
Yeah,
it was what, like 7 or 8 of us
yeah.
in the
Mm.
Six
I
us.
was close. I was close. 7 or 8 of us in
Legend.
the gaff.
Right.
Um, which you think, okay, it's going to be a lot cheaper then, but then you're actually there and you've got 8 bodybuilders all trying to prep their meals, and
I'm even thinking like I can't remember what show it was. Maybe it was PCA. I think it was PCA. I know Ed, you know Gabriel, and
yeah,
a classic guy.
they shared.
Ed stayed with him and I think with his girlfriend, and Ed's like really chilled, but obviously Gabriel was like I think quite stressed, and I think there was a night there was like Ed basically said he had like a shit night's sleep, not because of Gabe, but like one of the nights, and it might even been when it was no, it was with Drew and Drew's mates, and Drew's mates were like fucking pissing about like dead late at night, wrestling or something, and Ed was like, "What the fuck's going on?" Like, so yeah, to save like let's say 50 quid, like, is it worth it when you've worked so hard to try and like be your best on a show day, and then you're stressing out and you sleep shit the night before, and it obviously impacts your look? Maybe just spend a bit more money.
Yeah.
I would also say if you are having to travel for your Airbnb or to the show, I would actually go 2 days out, not one day out. So like let's say you've got your tanning and registration the day before, then I would actually, let's say that's the show's on the Sunday, tan registration's on the Saturday. I would either go Thursday night or Friday morning because you can get there nice and early, you can get everything set up, you can go to a food shop, and that whole day can just be getting everything ready and prepped. And then the following day, you can relax in the morning, you can check in with your coach, and then you can go to the TAN athletes meeting. Because I've seen so many people. I think it was the NBFI show. They left in the morning, and it was like a 4 hour drive down to Cork. Traffic, road closures. They ended up late for their tanning. They had to phone the person and say, "Sorry, we're not going to make it. Can you do later?" So you're already stressing about that. So just
You've
try and keep,
planned to get into the Airbnb to cook a meal and then go
yeah,
there, but you've not been able to get to the Airbnb. You're thinking, what do I do? Messaging your coach, shitting yourself, thinking, fuck, what's happening? Yeah.
you're just putting more stress and work on the coach as well, because the coach is having to sit on their phone and message you, stop stressing out, just have this meal or do that. Just get there as early as you can, make a weekend of it. It's a lot nicer and a lot more enjoyable.
Just prep your normal meals that your coach is giving you as well, but then bring your extra carbohydrates and
Yeah. Fat
always
source and
bring
stuff.
extra. Yeah.
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 Like I was using almonds, your dark chocolate. Then for carbs, you've got squares bars, you've got honey, you've got jam, you've got rice cakes, whatever it may be. Bring loads of extra whey with you if you need that. If one of your mates that's competing can't find his whey, can't get it, like even just to help with shit like that. But always bring extra stuff because usually, if you've prepped all your stuff and your coach has told you everything you need, you're not going to have to pull back. But if anything, you might need to add more. And even if you do need to pull back, and if your meals are like separate ingredients, you can just pull that away anyway. So prep your meals ahead for that full day if you can, if you have your plan for it, and then you can just adjust from there. So it's
I
kind of just
also
trying to keep
think
that
like
stress low.
having food sources like dark chocolate, rice cakes, where you can literally just break stuff off and okay, there's 10 grams of dark chocolate, so you don't need to worry about scales. Just let's say you're in the car and you need to get a meal in and the scales are in the boot, and then you're on the motorway or dual carriageway, you can't stop. You're gonna start stressing about that. Where if
Yeah.
your coach sends you, okay, you've got 5 rice cakes and 2 squares of dark chocolate, it's easy enough to add that to the
And
meal
even
rather
like, for
than trying to
example, like
weigh out honey.
a scoop of whey. Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
you know what I mean? You can estimate 30 grams of whey. You've got a fucking scoop there. Like, I think people are so meticulous throughout a prep that then like, for example, Tom Scott. Like, I remember being like, I can't remember exactly what it was. It might have been honey. And I've been like, oh, mate, just literally have a squeeze of honey. And he's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I need to weigh it all exactly. And then I remember on the BMBF day, when he looked not great and then he looked great. So, like, in his prejudging, he didn't look good. And then in the night show, he looked great. I'm like prejudging, it was like not long before. And he was like measuring his food out. And I was like, mate, like, we should have already had this meal in. Like, it was good because it was the good practice and learning for future shows. But like, if you, for example, if I even with any client, if you say, right, get that meal in now, for them at that point in prep, they might be very slow. They might be weighing out everything to the T because that's what they've done throughout the whole prep. That get this meal in now takes
Remember
them.
Brandon G?
I was
Yeah,
about to say
The
Brandon at the
back
end be
up the
really
back
Brandon
end
G
of
ridiculous
took a
about
fucking
this then.
hour.
Yeah, it
So
was like
get
20
this meal
minutes and
in
he's just
now.
still making his cream rice to make it perfect. It needs to look perfect. I'm like an hour out
Yeah.
and he's like making sure he's doing his fine art on it and stuff.
But the thing is with that, like it is funny because like that was a funny scenario, but also it meant that then it took him ages prepping it. He was on his feet for longer. He's fucking cling filming his meal to walk over to sit down. I was like, Brandon, just go and eat your meal. He had his meal and then he was like chilling out. And it was like, mate, you're on pretty soon. Like you should have been chilling out for an extra half an hour or an hour, but you were fucking cling filming for 3 hours. So like
Yeah.
if your coach says get this meal in now, like get it in as soon as you can. Like it doesn't have to look perfect. You're on stage soon. Like it doesn't have to be where you sit down and find an amazing video and really chill and enjoy it. Like just fucking get the food in and go and chill out, and then you'll be on stage
Or
soon.
just have
So,
the meal prepped already. Like
yeah,
just have it ready to go as soon as the coach says, okay,
The
get the meal.
hard thing, like you
It's
might not
there.
know how much you're
yeah,
having
you might
and
adjust
this
it
and
a little
that,
bit.
but
Yeah,
like
no, that's fair
you've got
enough.
all the food sources right there ready to go, and it's just a case of adjusting. Like have that ahead of time, definitely. Um, Everything else I have, yeah, rough cost per show, sorry. So it depends again if you're going to be traveling or what, but you're usually looking at what, £75 for the membership, £75 for the class entry, £75 for the tan. I'd say like you might be above or below on all
Yeah,
that a little bit,
different
but
different feds will be a bit more expensive, but
yeah,
it's roughly about the same price for tanning at most different feds.
Yeah.
yeah,
Trunks as well. If you've obviously not got trunks, they're going to be 40
Yeah.
quid.
yeah.
So
It depends
like,
how many you get as well.
yeah, I'd say realistically, if you're trying to do it on the cheap, do your own tan. I know it might not be perfect, but like you'll get good at it. Do your own tan and just buy pro tan. Trunks you can get relatively cheap, like just get one pair and do like two shows that are close to where you live, so you don't need to stay over. Like you
Main
can
part is travel,
yeah,
accommodation.
travel and accommodation, like it's a lot. But so is the fucking registration. Like being a member and then registering, like you're already, like you say, 150 quid down, 200 quid down sometimes. So
Mhm.
like it's not cheap, but if you really want to prep and you're not like in the best financial position and it's really stressing you out, don't do it. Wait until you're in a better financial position. Or just
Two
do
shows.
one show. You know
Or
what I mean?
just do one federation as well if you
Yeah,
can.
just do
Yeah.
one. Yeah, don't like if you want to do a couple of
Qualifier and a
shows, do
final,
them
do
both at
one
the same
federation.
federation, so you don't need to pay for two membership fees. You only pay membership fee once per year for a federation, and obviously you only have to pay it the years that you compete in. But then your entry fee is like per class or per
Yeah.
show. So like some people might end up doing five different feds and eight different shows, and you're like already over a grand plus down there. So like if you wanted to do it on the cheap, like just be a bit more like specific with the shows that you pick.
Yeah, I think it's that like travel, whether that be again, like it's a lot worse for me and Noah if we're doing like shows because coming from Scotland, you've either got yeah, Matt as well, sorry. You've got a flight, you've got a train, multiple trains, or you drive for 6 to 7 hours to get to the show. And you end up spending a lot of money on fuel. It's a lot of time to do so as well, obviously, which is annoying. But then you've got your accommodation. So you're staying for, as Matt says, it's much better to be there earlier. So it's not just, all right, I stay the night over before the show and I leave there. You're most likely getting there on the Friday. You stay over Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Sundays, if you're having a show there and it's finishing, you're down in England, coming back up to Scotland, you're staying over Sunday night as well. You go back on the
Yeah,
Monday.
and
Like
also you're having to
shows
think
end
about
late,
time
you
off
know.
work. Like
Yeah,
a
that
lot of
was
people are
actually
probably going to need the Monday off if you're traveling.
Oh,
Some people might work weekends, so you're obviously having to take time off work there. So like you're also losing out on money or you're using holiday days on that as well.
yeah. It's not simple, is it? But bodybuilding isn't in general. Like, you need to work around this shit anyway. And if you want to compete, then you save up money for it, you work things around it, you communicate with your employer. But definitely like the travel and the accommodation is one of the more expensive parts. So again, a closer show to you makes a lot more sense if you're trying to save money there.
I think also like if you are potentially thinking of driving back home on the Sunday after the show, consider whether you're going straight into another peak week as well. Because I know for me, like a lot of travel during the peak week, like successive peak weeks was very difficult because like if you head back really early, you could be really tired. But you know, one of the benefits is you get back to your own bed that night and you can get a lie in, and provided you got a day off work, then that's fine. But if you're traveling a lot then at the start of the week and then you've got like 2 days turnaround before you then head off to somewhere else because the show isn't local on the Friday. So you need to consider the stress of that as well and just trying to manage it as best as you can.
I'd also say people are very much like prepared for before they step on stage, but then they completely forget that there's life after that. So like they just don't have any food prepped for afterwards. They don't have any water. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I haven't got anything. It's like, what? Like you were so prepared before you stepped on stage, and then as soon as you step off stage, like you've forgotten everything. So make sure you've got meals for afterwards. Like especially if you've got a show the next week or in 2 weeks, you're not going to be going out for food, or at least we wouldn't recommend that you're going out for food in between shows. So like make sure you've got your meals prepped. Make sure that you've had a chat with your coach about like, right, what's the plan when we step off stage? Like this is what we're going to do, especially if you've got like again, for example, pre-judging and then like a night show kind of thing, or pre-judging and finals. Make sure you've planned out like, right, what's the plan in between? It doesn't have to be meticulous to the point where like to the ground you're going to do this because things change. You might look a little bit fuller, you might look a little bit flatter, you might be up against somebody that you can then play a different card because they haven't got XYZ that you have or whatever it may be. So there's going to be like ability to change things, but like so often I see people just like forget that there's life after they've stepped off stage. Like, oh, what do you mean? I've not got any meals. I've not got anything with me. I only had what I needed for before the show, or I've not got any water. It's like you need to think ahead as well and try. And also, it makes it easier to manage that post-show phase, preparing yourself for it, especially your last show. You
Mm.
can still plan to go out for a meal, let's say on your last show, but like
You think
Still,
fuck all there, you then just yeah.
also before your last show's even done, planning out the reversal, planning out the recovery phase, and what your plans are from there, and where we're going to look to put your food and stuff, because it makes life so much easier where you've not got that limbo sort of period of a day or two where you finish prep and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you just eat off plan all the time. If you've already got a meal plan set, you've already got goals, you already know what the next sort of 6, 12 weeks and then months are like working towards, it makes that transition so much easier. So like always have that. Don't just think my life is only up until I step on stage, like, and then you completely forget everything else. Like actually plan ahead as well.
Yeah. I think eating off plan between shows as well is a big, not a big no-no, but for most people, like it is going to have quite a large impact. You've spent 20 plus weeks like not eating anything outside your meal plan. Digestion wise, you're going to struggle. Your emotions have been very high, like everything's been all over the place. Then you go put food that you've not had in your body, and again, 20 plus weeks over 5 months, it doesn't really know what to do there. You end up holding a lot more water because of that. Then you're stressed about that the next day, thinking, "Fuck, if I've got another show in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, and I look like this, what do I do from here, coach? Do we need to pull back things like super harsh? What are we doing then?" Like you're already overthinking things, and it's just like have some patience. I remember like
Yeah, the
myself, I
digestive stress and the psychological impact, it's not worth it.
yeah. Like I remember, like it's just because I was immature at the time. I was what 18 years old and I was new to bodybuilding. But after every show, I was like, Finn, can I have an off-plan meal? Finn, can I go out for a meal? And eventually, you just started saying, "No, Josh, like shut up. Like you know you're not going to benefit from it, and realistically, like you can wait on it.
Thing is,
All that food's still there. You
you were
know,
having like your refeeds were often like Nando's. So like
yeah,
for you, it wasn't so much of a problem, but for like let's say if somebody wasn't having that, it's like people have burgers and fries throughout a prep as a refeed. So doing it post show doesn't really cause the digestive stress that it would for somebody who's not having it. You know what I mean? So if it's like if you've been having it throughout the prep, it's not so much of a problem, but it's when you then start having something different in between. So if you're having high days on, let's say, 800 carb, and you're having a shit ton of, let's say, potato and it's digesting amazingly, then all of a sudden post show you're like, oh fuck it, I want oats or cream of rice because it's sweet. And then your digestion's shit. It's still the same thing. Like, yeah, it's not going out for a meal, but it's still completely different if you've not been having it. If you've not had oats throughout your entire prep, and then I just want to post show, I just want a big bowl of oats. Is that all right? Well, not really, because you've not been having them. You know what I mean? So it's
not
like,
going to sound that it's not like much different. I can still make it the same macros and everything, but
yeah,
again, you're just trying to fill a void that's not going to be filled. Like with having that bowl of oats, like it's not going to make you like full and oh my God, I'm so buzzing I done that and like it doesn't there's like an endless pit in your stomach. You could eat fucking not anything, so it does get to a point where you can eat crazy shit and you feel terrible, but that bowl of oats is not going to touch the sides. And again, you're just probably going to feel shit for it. The extra fiber content that you're getting from that than your usual rice-based meal, whatever it may be, there's a good chance that that fucks you up as well. So I
also
think
the
it's a good one to
occasion.
touch on.
It is the occasion, isn't it? It's like people finish the show and their friends and family have come to watch, and the occasion is nice. And you think, oh, usually, like these kind of occasions, you kind of go out for a meal, you celebrate with food. Like it's a normal human thing to do. So it's understandable that people want to do it. But we say, like realistically, like save that for your last show.
I was
Go
going to
out for
say,
a
like,
really
last
nice
show is
meal.
absolutely fine, but
Yeah.
I would say when you're in the middle of the season, it's kind of job's not finished type of thing. Like, you're still in your competitive season. You said it before, like, imagine you were 2 weeks out from a show. You wouldn't just randomly go, Finn, mind if I have a burger and fries?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're 2 weeks out from a show now,
Well,
just
you wouldn't
because
just
it's,
randomly go and do it. Some people just go and do it without even running it by you. Like
yeah.
I've had that with
Because they
clients
think it's just
before.
the normal thing to do within bodybuilding. They
And
think
you
Yeah.
that's
see it
what
so
you
much on
do.
social media. Like people are like, just come off stage. Look at me munch these 12 Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm
Oh, it's
putting them together.
mental.
I'm having all of them. Like people think it's the normal thing to do, and they've got everything prepared, and they've already thought about what they're gonna eat. Like, I remember it as well at every show. Like before I'd go down and the drive down and the train down, like I'd be on TikTok and I'm like Manchester food places, purely looking at it just in the off chance I get it. And like, you're just like torturing yourself, you know? So just save yourself the stress and all the kind of, I don't know, the emotions of thinking, what can I eat, what should I eat, what should I do? Just stick to your plan. If you're still in your season, you've still got work to do. So stick to that. I've got like four questions asking, has anyone's balls came out on stage? Has anyone had a hard on stage? And does anyone ever have their dick out at tanning? First two, no. Third
If
one,
you're getting a hard on
yes.
stage, fair fucking play.
You're not in condition.
Yeah,
You're not
you're
ready.
not. You're
Yeah,
either not in condition or you're just a massive gay.
yeah. Your fucking sex drivers are crazy. Thinking about it on stage, you can't wait to get a holding out. I bet you're most muscular.
Balls popping out. I mean, no, but like sometimes if people's trunks are a bit small and they've maybe got a pretty big sack, Matt, I'm looking at you,
Uh,
then
that
you
shot you
might
put up
see
on
it
the
a
side of
little
the
bit.
That's
Instagram.
all that people talked about at my Two Bro show was
Yeah.
the
Mate,
size of my shaft.
Christian Chapman messaged me, like you'd be on stage for about 30 seconds. Christian Chapman messaged me, fucking hell, he's got a sack on him, hasn't he?
It's that
So
shot of you hitting that or
yeah,
whatever it is they've took it side on. You just
I
see
know, mate.
balls.
It's a chopper, like it's a chopper.
Yeah, so no balls out on stage or dick out on stage. You do from time to time see if somebody's packing absolute heat. Remember there was the guy at PCA Naturals, who I want to say
I remember
it
that.
was
There's
a
always one. Every show,
Yeah.
there's one guy.
Jack
Oh,
Chan show.
either got
Yeah,
something down there or they've just got
yeah.
massive knob.
And
Yeah.
Reese, like I was sat next to Reese, and the guy's come out on stage. He's got like an all right physique. He's wearing, remember, orange trunks, and you're just like, what the fuck? He just went, this knob's fucking massive, and like everyone around us just started wetting themselves because they didn't realize he'd said it so loud. But everyone was just thinking the exact same thing.
Mm.
For fuck's sake! I remember,
But at tanning, you definitely have like obviously you wear a cock sock, but now and again you'll just have people who don't give a fuck and they just stood there with a cock out.
yeah,
Remember Casper in Denmark when you were getting your tan? Casper just had his cock out.
Yeah, I think all the Europeans just do it.
yeah. I like when I was at the Romania show, I was getting the tan at the same time as the Masters, so that was interesting. They all just stood there with their bobbies out. Like we would get the tanning done, and then you went out to the wee bit behind it, and there was like fans, so they were just stood like I don't know, like action figure like this, just like that, letting it dry out, and like lads, come on. I'm still 19 at this point. Fucking actual terrifying. And we were watching the show later on, and it was the Pro Masters class, and I was like, oh my God, that's them. I'm sat next to Casey, and I'm like, his one's fucking massive, his one's weird looking, his one's teeny, normal, all right. So I could just like rhyme off the bobies. But yeah, it's a strange experience getting your tan done. Like the novelty wears off after a few times in, but even like my second or third show, like you always, I feel like the tan always used to make me like a little bit nervous. I'm like, all right, here we go. This is it happening again.
It's when
Like
you
it makes
see people, because a lot of the time they group classes together, so they'll put like all the juniors together go at the same time, and you're like standing in the tent, and you see like somebody beside, and you're kind of looking at each other, and then
This
they
is
come out and they start getting changed, and you're like, "Fuck me, he's shredded," and then
this
you
is
just
where
start
I'm
looking down at
saying
yourself, and you're like,
you can have your own tan. Like you can
"Yeah."
get your own tan. So obviously, like Megan's quite experienced within bodybuilding. She's done well. She's never
and
had a tan.
she's done the glazing and everything.
Yeah, yeah, but she's never had a tan. She does it. She's done it herself every
Oh,
time.
damn. Fair.
Like, which is fucking mental. Like, but when I say to her, I obviously will say it, I'll be like last season, especially like, oh, you know, they're getting their tan done, and she's like, why do people get their tan done? Like, she just doesn't get it. She's like, just do your own tan. It makes no sense. You know,
Hard.
because she's
It's
done
the
it and done it
stage
good.
lights too. It's like you don't know how dark to go. Like obviously we don't tan. Like females will like put
I
fake
was
tan
about to
stuff
say
on.
that, like they maybe have had spray tans before and
Yeah,
stuff, like or
I
it's a bit
also
more
think
normal
it's
because they
almost like
apply shit. Like I've never done that.
you can tell when you've got a good tan. Like, remember PCA Germans that came over?
yeah.
That guy
They
called
were using,
Pascal.
yeah, they
Mate,
were using some mad shit.
yeah, the tan was a joke. Like really good. Like even if the lighting was maybe not perfect for that
So
tan,
hit or
like
miss though,
you knew
isn't
it was
it?
gonna be
Like you
good.
can either stand out in a good way or a bad way, or like you look a little bit lighter, a little bit darker. You don't really know.
I
That's the
don't
that's the
think
hard part of it. The
darker is ever
safest,
too bad.
I think the
I
Unless
think if you
safest
can
way.
wash it off though, I think if you can do one coat, wash it off, so it's not like patchy. So one coat, wash it off, and then do another coat and just make that darker.
This
I
is
think that's when it
what
usually sits better
Probably
because
just
I
a
washed
ball.
my Denmark one off and then I got another layer and it was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Martin Lamont does, I think. Like he'll do a self-applying tan, he'll shower off the night before and then or like that's 2 days before, I think. And he'll shower it off, and then like going into one day out, he's already got like a base level of tan. You know when you shower off your tan and it looks
Yeah.
quite nice, it sits
It
there
looks
quite
good
good.
the
Like
week after. You're like,
yeah,
fuck,
yeah, yeah.
this is
Like, oh, it's
good.
nice before it starts to go like fucking crinkly and
Yeah.
shit. And he would have that, and then he'd just apply one base tan that night before, and he was good to go. Or it was maybe on the morning of, but
Yeah, so you'll
again,
do
I
like
don't
a
want to.
base coat, rinse it off, and then top coat in the morning,
Yeah,
or a second base coat and then top coat, and like yeah, it is doable for sure. And like I think if and when I compete again, I'll just do that. I'll probably still use Nicola because she's nearby,
yeah.
but maybe like on the actual show day, I don't want to be in the fucking tents. Like you know what I mean? Exactly like Matt says, I just get in my own head. I just look at everyone else thinking I'm fucking shit and I'm gonna get beat and like they're bigger than you know what I mean? You do, or you end up being stood for longer than I'd like to be.
It's just that I'm not an expert in tanning, so it's
I
like
just don't have a clue what to do.
yeah,
Well, this
I can't
year
be
I've
I
done
can't be
like
objective
quite
with
a lot of
myself,
tanning.
and yeah, I guess your confidence grows with that. It's the same as even just like being able to actually glaze your clients and shit. Like the more you do it, the better you get at it. But I don't want to mess anyone's tan up. Just being like, yeah, mate, it'll be fine to do their own tan, and then that impacts. I guess it's
But also you learn, like obviously with Tom Scott in America, we did it in
yeah,
like a pretty naff lighting, didn't we, that night? And I was like,
yeah.
made it very dark because he'd been so pale in the past.
Yeah, so
Then we just checked in the
I'm putting it
morning
on and I'm like, yeah, yeah, this is looking good. And I look over at your side and he's legit black. And I'm like, mate, that's so dark.
because, in my defense, every single show that he'd done like the self tan, it had been too pale.
Yeah.
So when he'd done it with the tanners, it had been fine, and then he'd done his own, it had been too pale. So I was like, right, we'll go fucking dark. And then in the morning, mate, Jesus Christ, it was like I said, I was just like, all right, mate, just go and rinse that off, and like it'll be like a nice like base like layer. And he was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, mate." And then like, afterwards, he was like, "Thank fuck we did that," and like looked so much better afterwards.
Yeah.
But like again, that's just experience. Like if I hadn't have known that and like not panicked, you know, if I'd have been he'd my first ever client, I'd have been like, "Oh fuck, like what do we do?" You know what I mean? So like you do just learn. Like, but again, if you're a first timer or if you're coaching a first timer, you're a first time coach. Just tell them to go and get the tap.
I just think it's less stressful actually just getting them to do it.
Yeah.
Because like if you've done everything we've said, you've got your meals and stuff with you, you're not rushing. Like it's just for me, it's just so much less stress to go, let them spread, stand there, dry off, go home, in my opinion. And I know like it's going to be good because they're professionals. You know, like the BMBF tan I did myself, like I had handprints all over me, and then I was trying
Yeah,
to fix
it's
it,
it's
and it
just
was
not
just
smooth, is
annoying.
it? Like the
No,
less friction from the over you, just I think it's nicer. But again, each to their own. Like it kind of shows that there's not an exact way to do it. Like some people prefer they're self-applying, some people prefer just getting other people to do it. But like just knowing that I'm not an expert in tanning or won't be able to be very objective with myself or the other people around me, it's going to be my mum, my dad, Casey. Maybe Noah, to be fair, if Noah's in the country and not kicking about Japan. But like, I just save the stress of, doing it myself and get it done
I
elsewhere.
also think like if you're obviously Noah's a little bit wider than us, like if he was to do his own tan, it would be very hard for him to be objective as to like, is this actually dark enough? While at least if you go
Yeah.
to them, they can be like, no, you need another coat on top of that.
Yeah, because they take
And
that into
especially
account as well.
you haven't had a tan since what, like 2022 or something. So
Yeah.
I do
it's much
think you
easier for
should.
them.
One thing to point out is wear like very light and baggy clothes. Gasp shit's usually really good. Like Gasp's oversized light tops, the one that says like Gasp ink on the top of it, like the kind of blocky writing. That's always really good. If you've got like heavy clothes sitting on it, it can sit weird and it doesn't make it look very nice. You've then got like the XXL joggies or yeah, that's explosive fibers.
Yeah.
Those joggies, the ones that are like super baggy, very airy, like keeping yourself as cold and kind of as cool as possible.
Don't
Wearing
lay
sleeper.
down straight away or sit down. Like, even though they
Yeah.
might be like, oh yeah, you're dry, like give it a little bit longer and then put the baggy clothes on and then just walk for like 5, 10 minutes. People like go and lay down straight away and you got like prints all over your back.
Yeah, and wear your sliders as well. Just because again, if you've got your shoes on, if you get your socks on as well, and you get them up like round your ankles, are dead pale and shit, and they've got marks around them. So that's something to mention. Cock sock, I'd say bring your own just in case, but usually the tanners do give you a cock sock. Get a Tony the Tiger. What an absolute
I don't
G.
know where mine is, my old
See if I can
A1.
find them. Because A1, Nicola, she's got like wee different ones. There's a tiger ones, a crocodile ones, and stuff like that. But you will be stood there pretty much bolt naked around other people. So accepting that and understanding that that's part of it. Trying not to be freaked out by it. Try not to compare yourself to others at Tannin. There's been plenty of times that I've thought, oh my fucking God, that's Mr. Olympia next to me. Go on stage next to them, look at the photos, and I'm like, oh, he was wank. Like it's so easy to
It is
see
weird, mate. It's
to see
true.
somebody that's bigger than you, or you see somebody with a massive chest, and that's all you can focus on. And then when you go on stage, their legs are fat and they've got
But even condition, it's so hard to judge when they're just stood relaxed posing, tanning. They're not
yeah,
posing. Like somebody might look relatively soft, and then they pose, and you're like, oh fuck, they're not soft at all. And
yeah.
then vice versa as well. Like sometimes somebody looks inside out when they're like getting a tan done, then they go on stage and like something's gone wrong. They're either not posing well, or
Or
they've
they've got a
calories too
giant rib
heavily,
cage and they don't look very
or
good. Like you
yeah,
never
or their
know.
shape's naff or whatever.
Yeah, I remember it was the Two Bro show. Obviously, everyone I was against was enhanced. We were all getting tanned at the same time. So there's Liam Watson right in front of me. There's some American guy who was absolutely peeled. He literally bent over to pick up his like sliders, and it was just ripples all over his arse. And I was like, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" And I looked down, and like we weren't like carbon up or anything, and we weren't peaking for the show. And I was just like, I look so soft right now. And
Yeah.
thank goodness I didn't like. I was so stress free, but I was just like, what am I doing? And then obviously get on
But
stage and none of
you
them fit the
beat the guy,
criteria.
the American guy.
Yeah, I beat all of them apart from Liam, but it's
Yeah.
just,
You'd have won the
yeah,
overall if Liam wasn't.
mate, I would have won. I know,
But he was.
but
But
he
he was.
was.
Yeah, tanning's a weird one. I remember Nicola done it in like a gym hall type of thing. It was like a community center.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh mate, I was wetting myself. She done it in this like wee community centre, and I'm stood there. It's myself, Jack, MVMT, and Niall. What a throwback, the
Oh.
bald eagle. But we're standing there, us three. It's literally just us three, the tents, and all of a sudden we started hearing like a choir singing, like they're practicing for church, and they're legit like 20 foot behind us. And they're sat there singing. I'm bollock naked apart from a sock over my penis. And I'm like trying not to wet myself because it would be disrespectful because they're singing all these fucking holy songs. And I'm stood there like really trying not to lose my shit. Like all three of us are. And it's, you can get in weird situations with it, but it's part of it. And again, you just need to keep your cool, not worry about it. And yeah, if you are going to do it with the actual federation, then understand that you might take a little bit more time with it as well. But yeah, I think that wraps up like the tanning side of things well before the show. Show day itself, again, bring plenty of foods. We've covered the shows themselves. What happens if my cocksock falls off and the tanning people laugh at my bobby?
Then you might as well just kill yourself, mate.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
You need to get your balls into the sock as well.
Yeah,
If
puffing
you can,
balls in.
if you can keep the sock on without the balls in, then that's wildly
That's
impressive.
crazy.
It
That's
is cold,
fucking
like it's so cold.
ridiculous. Yeah, the
So
tan's freezing, so be prepared for your bollocks and your penis to shrivel back up the way and it look like you've got no penis. And then see when your mate takes a photo of you doing that with no tan on as well and posts it on the FK Physiques page. That's when it's the best. I reposted it with a rawr, a wee tiger. Yeah, so it's an interesting experience, but again, just try to keep yourself as relaxed as possible. Like before you know it, you get used to it. You'll be absolutely fine. But other recommendations or anything you should be aware of on show day? Does anyone have any ideas? I don't think I've
I
got
would
any other.
just say, like, and this is speaking from experience, like, you've worked very hard to get to that point. Just enjoy the day. Like, don't be so stressed about everything being perfect. Because again, the more you're stressed, the worse you're gonna look and feel. If your friends and family are there, fucking go and say hello to them, chat to them. Try not to be on your feet all day. Don't be, running around the venue all day. Like, have somewhere as a base where okay, my bag's there and I can go back and chill there. But oh, my parents here, I'm gonna go and say hello. Like, don't fucking sit backstage being a miserable bastard.
In a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
we were talking about this in the Lifestyles Loops podcast with Aiden. Would you prefer to get to the show early, or would you rather try and stay comfortable for as long as you can and then go? Because they were talking about the WNBF Worlds and how they were trying to leave it for as long as possible before they actually went down to the venue because it was all like pretty close. Whereas I was saying is like on show day, I want to get there as soon as I can and
I
just find
just
somewhere
get there.
backstage and just chill out.
Yeah,
I
I'd
get
rather do
there,
that.
I've got a pillow with me and my headphones with me, and I'll legit just set up a bed, like a pillow, a blanket, and then my headphones. I'll put the blanket on the floor, pillow behind me, headphones on. If you've got an eye mask, put that on, and then if you've got your coach with you, whenever they need to, they just come up and tap you and say, "Mate, you need to do this." Like that's just as stress free as being in your
I think
partner.
it depends. If you know the venue, if you know the federation, if you've got somebody feeding back to you, let's say you've got an Airbnb 2 minutes away, I'd rather stay at my Airbnb. You know what I mean? Because then I'm not having to see loads of people and chat to people. Like, I'd rather stay at my Airbnb and like keep an eye on the show. Maybe they've got a live stream. I know I'm going to be on in 2 hours. Right, I'll get down there now, rather than let's say being there like maybe registration's first thing in the morning, and then I'm not until 5 p.m. I'm not going to stay there all day if I can go back to my Airbnb and just chill. You know what I mean?
No,
Kind of depends who you are as well. Like I imagine for us, like we would be getting stopped by quite a lot of people. If you're a first timer, there's not unlikely going to be loads of people coming up to you and wanting to speak to you. So you might actually be able to just sit and relax backstage, soak everything in. Like pay attention to how the show is actually being run. Like when are they bringing people backstage? Where are
Watch
they
the
bringing
show as
back
well.
people?
I think
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
the show
Watch
is
the
always a
actual
good thing to
show.
do.
Uh,
yeah, sit up the very, very back and just chill there a little bit. You can watch along and see where things are at. Is just having someone there, like having your coach with you, or someone, even if it's not your coach, that knows how a bodybuilding show goes, they can go ask people where things are at. Like the biggest thing that I used to struggle with on show days, and still everyone does because it's so unpredictable, is when you're actually going to be on. Are they ahead of time? Are they behind on time? Have someone there that's reliable, that's checking consistently every 15 to 30 minutes, like especially as it gets closer to you being on stage, being really on top of that to make sure that you don't end up not being able to get a pump. You don't end up not being able to eat your meal pre-show or pre-stage. And give yourself a good hour to hour and a half, probably closer to hour and a half to have like your final meal before stage. Give it plenty of time to digest. Chill out afterwards. Pump up half an hour beforehand. Again, we can maybe go into one like a little bit more in detail and depth with that, but pump wise, it depends on the person, how well you actually hold a pump, how much food have you had leading into the show, like what's your ability to hold that like. But usually a good 15 to 30 minutes of pumping up beforehand.
That'd be a good topic for an episode, like
Yeah,
an hour before you go on. What are you doing?
yeah,
Like pump product, maybe meal, that kind of stuff.
yeah. Someone's asked like peak week training as well. So maybe next week we can do peak week training and like the hour before actual going on stage. This one being a bit
Yeah.
more about the day before going on stage. But yeah, I think that covers that well. Do some quick fire questions with just the ones that are non-related to that to finish up. Did you get any
Yeah.
questions? Is there any that you want to go
I've
over
got
first?
about four, I
I've
think.
not checked over mine to be fair. I'll give that a look.
Any good ones, Matt?
Do. Most neglected muscle trained that people will rely on condition to achieve visuals of.
Abs.
I'd say
Most
abs and
what?
glutes.
Most.
Most neglected muscle trained that people will rely on condition to achieve the visuals of.
Oh, right, yeah,
Like
abs.
Abs
I
and
also think
glutes.
glutes, like people
Abs
talk
and
about getting
glutes.
shredded glutes. Well, if you don't have the muscle for shredded glutes, you're not getting
Training.
shredded glutes.
Yeah.
Split
So,
squatting like 15 kg a side on a Smith machine. Like you should have
hey,
a
people don't even train them. Like
Yeah.
they literally have no movements in the program that are
or
glute
they only
bias.
do a hip thrust and that's it. You're just
Or do they
training
even
that
do that?
short and
A
range.
lot of
Yeah.
people don't. Yeah.
Yeah. I think having a hip thrust, some form of hip hinge if you can, like a split squat or a single leg press where you're like lengthening the glute out well as well. Like having kind of all avenues of it, abductor possibly as well. And then abs, people train abs or people just don't train abs or maybe train them once a week. Like you can so easily get away with two, three, maybe not four, but 2 or 3 times a week, like very easily without any issues recovery wise. Next one. Any other good ones?
If all body parts slash muscle groups are average on stage, pick one to be the best on stage.
Quads.
Lats.
Delts.
Mm.
There.
That.
There.
Yeah. Mega. You
I
can have
think
a shape physique, but you're that guy that's known for having a massive piece on
Yeah.
stage.
I think like a
Everyone's
crazy
appetite
set
will
of
fuck it.
quads does stand out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think a crazy set of lats wouldn't stand out as much as quads. Delts maybe, but still probably not.
Matt's just like, I hope it's
Yeah.
Dills. I hope it's
Yeah, having
Dills.
like crazy delts would be so cool.
Nah, but lats like will
Lats, you could just like walk on and then just
Yeah,
Yeah, but
like
if you've
I
got
think
no quads, I feel like if you've got great quads and everything else is average, that's like, whoa. If you've got like average everything and just great lats, it's like,
think about how
I
many
think the
poses it
balance though.
affects though. Like lats will impact your front double, your front lat, your rear double, your rear lat, your
I'm
abs and
thinking
fat.
about
You could
Mikey.
still
Like
win those
Mikey is a good
poses.
example.
Yeah, like quads realistically,
Like
if you
Mikey's
do
great, Mikey's
five
great,
set of
but
quads,
like
yeah.
that they were like such a strength that it did really propel like
Well,
performance.
let's say like the rest of the body is like still good. What's one body part then to have as a standout body part on stage?
I still think quads.
Quads.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
quads.
Yeah.
Glutes like are really
Yeah,
impressive.
glutes
And they,
actually,
they
yeah.
glutes hold a lot of weight if you've got a lot of muscle on them and they're like stripped out to fuck. I remember one of AJ's clients, I think it was 2024, his name was Jordan. He trained up in performance gym. His physique was decent, but then he just had these like bonkers glutes. And then like everyone would share that and post that about because I was like, oh my God, look at his glutes.
It's like Chris Palin.
Chris Palin.
Like
Yeah, like
his
some
glutes are
crazy glutes.
ridiculous. Like and it just pushes him forwards in places.
Yeah, I guess so. You get any other good questions, Matt? Is that you?
I've got a couple more.
Yeah.
If you have to choose one training progression scheme, what's your choice? That's from Lorenzo.
So that's like micro loading with zero point 0.5 kg per side and taking a plus one at the same time. Increasing on loads, 2.5 kg at a time instead of increasing reps. Like, what would you prefer? What would you bias? I, to be fair, as much as that doesn't give me much thrill or excitement, I do think micro loading while still progressing your reps is pretty good.
Probably the most
The most
effective.
optimal, yeah, but
Yeah.
I just find it very boring. Put some weight on the fucking
I
machine.
don't enjoy like adding a 0.5 aside. I'd much rather maybe have just like a 10.
Nobody enjoys doing that. That's why most people don't do it. And you just rush your progressions and then get hurt or your form goes to shit.
Nah, like
But
people that do, let's take Lewis for example, like on the hack squat, he's adding zero point 0.5 per side and then still shooting for a plus one. So it's like he gets a plus one, but then there's like the added little benefit as well. When he
yeah,
adds that zero point 0.5, there's no thought process of I've added weight to that. It's the same weight as it was last week and I'm just getting a plus one. If you can
yeah.
have that mindset and you're taking rep progressions while taking small load progressions, I'd argue that that's better for injury
Oh
management.
mate,
Not
100%. I'm
being
saying
daft.
that's good, but I'm saying people don't do that.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm agreeing that that's great, but
Yeah.
most of the time people don't want to do that. They want to chuck five per side on and then rush it instead of chucking a 0.5 or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of running roughly like a 6 to 10 rep range just now on most of my movements or my bigger hitter movements. Something to mention is if you have a 6 to 10 rep range, it doesn't mean that you need to get to 10 before you go up in weight. Like,
I used to believe that when I like
yeah,
started
it's like you've
with
not
rep
earned the right
ranges.
to
I
go
was like,
more
I'll
weight.
work my way up and then I'll add weight and I'll come back down, work my
Yeah.
way up.
If you feel like
Yeah.
you've done an 8 repper there and you're like, all right, I want to get some excitement about this. I feel really good. I feel strong today. I'm going to add on an extra 1.25 per side. Even though I'm not at the top of the rep range yet, you don't need to reach the exact top of the rep range to kind of earn that progression. I think it's good to do that in a sense. Like if you've got a 7 repper, you've got a 6 to 10 and you've got a 7 repper, don't increase the load, like build it up a little bit more. But, don't be afraid to just whack on some weight because realistically, a rep progression is going to lead to a load progression. If you get to the top of the rep range, you're then going to increase by 1.25 kg. If you feel confident enough, good enough, strong enough, sack off the rep progression and just go straight for the low progression. As long as you're not repping the piss and you know you're going to realistically take away from your execution by doing so.
Load progressions are more realistic as well. Like I always explain it to clients in terms of like total volume. Like let's say you do, I don't know, 100 kilo flat bench for 10. That's 1,000 kilos of volume. If you try and then get 100 for 11, that's an extra 100 kilos of volume, just doing one more rep. That's a lot. Whereas if you go add a 1.25 per side, like that's 2.5 kilos, then still get the same 10. You've added 25 kilos of volume. That's a quarter of what you were trying to add by staying on the same weight. So like more often than not, try and go heavier. Especially if your form's good and you're in a safe rep range. I'd say anything above 5 or 6.
Yeah. Set anything higher, any rep range higher.
No higher than that.
No, 5 or 6 or 8 or 9 or something.
Yeah.
That's a good question though. Any other ones? And we'll maybe save my questions for next time because we're at
Yeah.
7.
It's a slightly longer question, but
I'll back up on this one. Yeah, let's go.
it's from Jensen Nichols. How lean do you need to get in a diet phase to set you up efficiently for a productive gaining phase? And then how do I go about keeping things in check during that time, reversing out of the diet as someone who has a rather unhealthy relationship with food, i.e., high food focus, binge eating, guilt. So essentially, how lean do you need to get in a diet to set up for a gaining phase, and how to reverse out.
How long's a piece of string?
He is literally what I was about to say. Ditto, bro.
It's just it's so nuanced for each individual person. It's hard to say, oh, you need to get this weight or this like numbers, and this is something that Finn's been saying to me, like the number on the scale isn't dictating what time you come out of a diet phase or this, that, or the other, or whenever you decide to change a phase. It's about the look itself and if things are in a productive spot to maybe change the direction. Again, without knowing someone's physique or knowing how they're responding to food or how they approach food, it's very hard to sit and say, "Oh, do this. This is how lean you need to get," because there's never just a blueprint of how lean you need to be. But being in a good enough spot, but again, that's so fucking different for everyone.
But I think where you sit, like where you sit best as well. So like we've said this before, like for
Sweet
example,
spot almost with
yeah,
body
like
weight.
Josh, I'll get you a bit leaner than someone else because I know that you won't get as heavy as someone else. And also your appetite is still pretty naff until you're quite lean. Whereas someone else, like they're nowhere near that lean. They're fucking starving. You know what I mean? They're like, oh mate, I'm so hungry, like I can't wait to be gaining again. So it depends on that. Depends on like Matt said, they're like quote unquote sweet spot from like a hormonal standpoint where they feel at their best.
It depends on how much muscle you have as well. 8% body fat for somebody with no muscle is just a normal looking person. They're a bit skinny. 8% body fat with someone with a lot of muscle is like fucking hell, he's skinned. That's
Yeah.
not a good spot to be in. You don't want to be that lean for just a diet. So it depends how much tissue you've got. Like, and some people are kind of in that skinny fat phase as well. Like when they start training, they're like, mate, what do I do? Do I dig in? Do I diet? Like where do I go from there? Like it's impossible to just say, yeah, mate, get to this body fat. People are like, what body fat percentage should I go down to?
Don't use body
Nobody,
fat
nobody
percentages.
knows
Fuck
what
that.
body fat you are. Like you can't look at a physique and just go, yep, that's exactly 7.5% body fat. It's so different on every physique. You hold it in different areas depending on what point you
And
look
it's
at.
so different on any measurement that you use. There's
Yeah,
like
there's no
there's
consistent way. You need to
20
go to
different
like
means of measuring body fat percentage, and they're all massively different. Like,
yeah,
so yeah, fuck body fat percentage off.
just need to pinch the skin, bro. Yep, that's you 9.4%.
The calipers,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that special kind of just like ability to do so.
Yeah. Can I just touch your glutes and I'll tell
Yeah,
you?
can I do the pinch test on your glutes with my teeth? Let me do that. But yeah, like coming out of the diet as well, it's a difficult one because it's very easy just to say like I don't do it, but obviously it's a lot easier said than done. But giving yourself like goals and keeping yourself accountable by obviously having a coach, someone that believes in you, that genuinely thinks you can do well. Knowing that you've got, right, I've got this diet coming up next time, I want to be at that weight there. I need to be consistent with this. I want to speak to my coach a little bit more often to make sure that I'm being held accountable. If that means 2 times per week check-ins, because towards the back end of that, you've been getting leaner, you've been struggling a little bit more, you might need a bit more support. You keep those check-ins coming up consistently, because again, it's so easy for you to miss one check-in with your coach, and you're like, oh, fuck it. Like I've missed that check-in. This week's been guff. Okay, I don't want to speak to him because I'm like feeling guilty about it. And literally just communicate. Communicate with your coach, because as soon as you stop doing that, that's when things go to shit. They crumble. You start to have doubt. You think, do I even want to do this? When realistically, it's just this big mask of like, oh, I feel shit and I feel guilty, and it's making me feel horrendous. Communicate with your coach. Be truthful and honest with yourself. Keep yourself held to a good standards, and if you can again collaborate well with the person that's helping you, looking after you, that's kind of guiding the ship, then you've got a much better chance of handling that well. But yeah, everyone's different. Everyone's got different ways of making themselves be a little bit more accountable. Whether that's a show coming up, or all right, I'm competing in a year's time, I need to make sure I'm dialed in with that. Or everyone's got different stuff. But I think the big thing is just to communicate with your coach and make sure that you're still honest and truthful with what you're doing. Also, out of sight, out of mind. If it's This is one big thing. When I finished prep, it was like near Christmas time. There's fucking heroes and celebrations and everything sitting about. Like it just makes me think, oh, I want to eat that, I want to eat that, I want to eat that. Like if you can't see that stuff, especially if you live yourself, like it makes it much easier. You just buy what you need and that's it. But if you live with your family and there's loads of stuff lying around, like simple as saying like, mum, dad, do you mind if you're just gonna keep that out of like sight in the kitchen, maybe put it in a cupboard or something, so as soon as I'm walking past, I'm not thinking that, and then I'm thinking, oh, that'd be nice to eat. And then you're thinking about food more and more, and that food focus drives up and up and up. Keep your food consistent. Make sure that you don't go overly sweet and try
I
to
just
make
keep just keep your meal plan like simple and foods that you had when you were gaining, but foods that you enjoy. Like, don't make it so fucking boring that you hate it. Like, make it
There's a
enjoyable.
middle ground,
Have
isn't
one or two meals as sweet-based meals, have the other two or three as savory-based meals, but like
there?
make it enjoyable, but keep it to like what you would do in a gaining phase when you've got moderate appetite. Don't be like, in a gaining phase when you've got moderate appetite, would you randomly be adding in 0 calorie sauces or volumizing shit with xanthan gum? No, just don't do it when you're dieting. I'm going for a week.
I think that's us pretty much sorted, to be fair.
Yeah.
I've got some good questions, but I'll leave them till next time. We can cover peak week training, how we approach that, our thought processes on it, and then that kind of hour before going on stage. Last one, actually, how high is everyone's caffeine intake? Because I'm interested in this. How much caffeine do you have roughly on a daily basis?
Say between 300 and 500. A little
Fuck.
bit higher than most people.
Yeah, that's a good amount. Noah?
I only have 200 on push and pull days, nothing on legs, nothing on rest. But
Sick.
that's only recent. That's only since I've brought in pump product where it's unflavored. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have caffeine.
Rise and shine.
Oh, well, apart from that, that's like 50
50
milligrams.
grams. 50 milligrams. I'm rise and shine in the morning, and then maybe twice a week I'll have 100 milligrams of caffeine through half a scoop of defib, and that's me. I don't use caffeine a lot. I'm very much in the mindset that if you are eating well, if you are sleeping well, you don't need to abuse caffeine. I always say to my clients, like that person, if you ever worked in retail, that person that got 3 hours sleep last night has a packet of crisps for breakfast in the morning and they're like dying for caffeine because they feel like a zombie. Those are the people that need to rely on caffeine. They need it every day because they treat themselves like shit. Like I don't need to have caffeine every day. If I'm looking after the rest and recovery stuff, I feel like I don't need to do it. If I enjoyed coffee, I'd have a coffee every morning. But out of enjoyability, it wouldn't be, oh, I need the caffeine. So, yeah.
I
Finn,
would
what's your,
do,
sorry,
I
go for it.
was just going to say, I do 50 milligrams of Rise and Shine in the morning. Then during my first work block, I'll probably have a Monster during that. And then before the gym, I'll either have a small black coffee, or if it's like a leg day or a leg pull day, then I'll have a stim with a pump product.
Yeah.
So it's not like stupidly excessive, but I like the feeling of going into like a big session where I'm kind of switched on a little bit more.
It depends your tolerance as well. Like a half scoop of defib, I can feel 100 milligrams because I very rarely have caffeine. If I have 100 to 150 milligrams of caffeine, I'm like, fuck. And I put that alongside Proven as well, and that's got I think it's got beta alanine in it because I can feel it. If I do that along with like half a scoop of defib, I start to feel myself like really getting quite like agitated and shit. So I just kind of stay away from it. Finn, what's your caffeine intake at the moment before we wrap up on a daily basis?
Not a lot to be fair. Like today, I just had 1 scoop of fuel, which is like I think 175 milligrams of caffeine.
Yep.
Um, on rest days, I'll have like 1 or 2 coffees if I want them. Sometimes on trading days, I'll have a coffee as well. I haven't had a Monster for as long as I can remember, just because I feel like my digestion's not great when I have them. So yeah, like I do really like coffee, but still I'll limit myself to like maximum one a day plus a pre-workout if I'm training, or like two a day if I'm on a rest day. I have Rise and Shine in the morning as well, but like realistically, it's no more than like 250 to 300 absolute total.
What's the most you've taken in the winter? Final question.
Maybe like 400.
That's rookie numbers. That's diabolical.
Yeah, not
In
like
one day,
No,
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 like
like in
one
the
or
just
one
something.
one
go,
go,
like in the one serving.
I've had like 500 through pre-workout.
Yeah. No?
It would have been like when I was triple scooping Total War at like one
Nice.
in the morning, or whatever that is with a Monster probably. Actually, in prep, I was having quite a bit, but I didn't actually know what caffeine was really at that point. So I was just like 3 black coffees to make me shit, and then I was having multiple Monsters to just get me off my arse. But I
Ignorance
did,
is bliss, isn't it? Like I'll
yeah.
think back to that prep and like there's so much things that I would have overthought and worried about. But I mean, that's not a good thing having all the caffeine, but yeah, you need it in prep at a certain point, don't you? Towards the back end, I was like I'd fucking pray from a monster.
I also think though, like it's nice that if I had my knowledge that I do now going into that prep, I'd be like, Finn, mate, do you really think I should be doing this many steps? This. But I
Yeah.
just stressed myself out. I was like, ah, fuck it. Like, that's what it is. That's what I've been told to do. I'll just do it.
Almost
And I
knowing
think
less is actually less stressful. You
Yeah.
just you just crack on.
at that point as well, just based on how that prep was, like you needed pushing, but also it's just good experience that you did have a prep like that because your next prep won't be anywhere near the same.
Yeah.
Mega.
I triple scooped Rich Piana's 5150 RIP the GOAT, but that had 450 milligrams of caffeine per scoop, and I triple scooped it. So that's 1,003
1350.
1,350 milligrams. The strangest experience of my life. I don't do much drugs and stuff, but I've smoked weed before, and this was in a complete different level. Like it was an outer body experience. I bench press PR'd in my wee fucking man cave with some hard style on. Best time of my life. Finished the session, lay in my bed the whole day, and I was like looking down at myself in third person view. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I honestly felt like high. I was watching TV and it was something that I enjoyed. I think it was Friends or Young Sheldon or something, but it's just like dead.
Young Sheldon in that state would be
Yeah,
awful.
mate, I was like tripping out watching. I was like, that's like we background laughing people. I'm like, that's not funny. Sat there, it was like the worst experience of my life. But yeah, I think if I'd done over 200 milligrams of caffeine in the one now, I'd really struggle. Just depends on your tolerance, doesn't it? But yeah, thank you all for listening and for watching. A good episodes, I think. Very insightful. Some good education for people, especially. Again, I think we wanted to do this because there's a lot of people going into prep now for their first timers shows and everything like that. So it's good for them all to know about it. But yeah, thank you for listening. Please do like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Turn on notifications, all of that jazz. Spotify, do rate us 5 stars if you can. Follow along on there, turn on notifications. I think when I looked at the stats, like we're severely under what we should be when it comes to subscribers and followers and stuff like that. So please do just scroll down and click on the button. But yeah, that's all. Sharing the stories, share about if you can. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.